So you're thinking about moving to Frisco, Texas in 2025? Well, this is going to be your complete guide to everything that you need to know so you can make the best decision. And we're going to add a little live Q&A in here as well. So go ahead and ask your questions throughout. I'll get to them whenever I get a chance. But I want to jump right in here and discuss several things that are happening in Frisco and what you need to keep an eye out for when you're moving to the area or considering this move, and maybe you're coming to visit or cruise around town, whatever the case may be. Of course, you definitely want to give us a call right here. Oh, right there at the number right there. Give us a call so we can help you out on there. But otherwise, I'm going to walk you through the map. First and foremost, we're going to go through the map, and then I'm going to talk about some of the development projects and housing prices and some of the trends with housing, especially in this market. We just saw interest rates go up again. And are we ever going to get any relief from interest rates? That's a good question. Talks with tariffs, a new administration at play. There's a lot going on, and that can make the home buying process a little uncertain at times. But the main thing is that, we can find a deal in any market, just depending on your situation. But that's why we always encourage people to reach out, because everyone's individual situation is different. But let me jump back in here and let's get going through on the map. So for those of you that may not know, I just got here to show Frisco right up here at the top. You'll be able to see nicely highlighted, and you can just get a good reference of what that is from downtown Dallas. So really about 30 miles, divide Frisco and downtown Dallas. There are people that actually commute this on a daily basis. Now, that can get costly. So it just depends on if your company or your business pays for your tolls, because a lot of people live over on the west side of Plano or Frisco, actually, and you would come down the Dallas North Tollway to get into downtown Dallas. So if you're going that route, of course, you're going to have tolls going in and coming back, but traffic is a lot more manageable along the tollway. Now, when you move up here into Frisco on the northern section, a lot of construction happening right there, and we're going to cover some of those developments that are causing all of that construction up here. Now, the tollway kind of ends as of right now. It's going to be extended throughout this direction, but they're also working on that expansion right now. So a lot of that traffic, if you make it through the construction zone right now, it kind of dies off, but that's mostly people heading to Prosper and Salina. Now, if you live over here on the east side of Frisco, then you do have an option to maybe come to 75 and take 75 all the way into downtown Dallas, but you'd have to either take 380 to get there if you don't want to pay a toll, or you're going to come down and hit 121, which is this highway right here, and Highway 121 is a tollway. So that's a little bit of a challenge right there, going that route. So, either way, you're likely going to hit tolls no matter what, being in Frisco. That's just the part of it. Now, you also have the Dallas North Tollway. What am I talking about? You got the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport right here, and you have, guess what, 121 runs all the way into the north entrance of the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. And just like I mentioned, that is a toll road. Now, the tolls get pretty sparse, I would say, throughout this area. They're mostly concentrated running through the Frisco and McKinney area up in here. The 121 kind of fades out a little bit as well. I haven't been on 121 up this direction in a couple of months, but I'm sure they'll probably be adding a few toll booths along the way throughout that route. But overall, Frisco, as we mentioned, is really becoming the new hub. And that's why I reference, they talk about Dallas-Fort Worth as DFW, of course. And I say in the next couple of years, actually probably even right now, I got some actually interesting articles that it's going to become Dallas-Frisco-Fort Worth, because Frisco is becoming such a hub, such the center of everything that's new and happening in Dallas. Plus, look at this. you're opening up the corridor to the North Dallas area. So of course, Prosper blowing up right now. Salina is blowing up. You've got Aubrey and Pilot Point over here, a little bit lesser known right now, but they are starting to really gain traction. And you have Melissa and Anna up here. Princeton just got named one of the fastest growing cities in the U.S., along with Melissa and Salina. So 3 of the fastest growing cities, and Prosper actually too. So all of these right here. Why? Because everybody's heading north. And look at all this green space. I've mentioned this many times before on this channel, all this green space. I mean, we can go all the way up here to the Oklahoma border. This is Oklahoma up here. Okay, Oklahoma. And you've got plenty of green space. We're not waterlocked and we're not landlocked. Yes, we got a couple of lakes throughout here, but that's not going to stop us. We'll just build around the lakes and you'll get some nice lakefront property, but otherwise room to grow. So with Frisco becoming the new hub, people are willing to go up to Prosper, Salina, Melissa, Anna, Weston, Van Alstyne, Gunter, Pilot Point, Aubrey. All these areas all throughout here are gaining a lot of traction, right? So, and the reason being is because there's so much space. And if you just head, 10 minutes north, you could save 100, you could save 100 to, who knows, 500K, depending on where you're at. All right. So, and you're going to get a little bit bigger house. You might find some acre lots. You might find 2-acre lots, 3-acre lots. All of that is available at this moment. We've actually featured a couple. We went up to Van Alstyne, which I typically don't venture up there too much. We hover a lot around in this area, but yeah, there's some cool communities up here, acreage, and some really big homes, and you can get them for half the price that you would pay in Frisco. Definitely Prosper, and people are willing to do that. A lot of people working from home right now, a lot of people working remotely, a lot of people own their own businesses. They don't have to worry about the commute, or they might be commuting to Frisco and Plano. Actually, right here in this corridor, right here on the Frisco and Plano border, is kind of like becoming the new uptown. So, of course, uptown and downtown Dallas is where you have all the high rises. You have your biggest concentration of high rises of downtown Dallas right here in the center loop. And then all of uptown, all of this, of course, has blown up with the high rises. You got some over here, a little bit in the Arts District as well. And you have a lot, of course, running along 75 up in this direction. So all of this taking place throughout this area as far as, the development downtown. And downtown Dallas is still growing significantly. But now up north, this is kind of becoming the new hub, all in this area. And if I zoom in a little bit here, you're going to see JP Morgan Chase, Bright Horizons, the North Texas Toll Authority, FedEx headquarters. You've also got Frito-Lay. You got Frito-Lay. You've got, let me see, who else they got in here? They got a lot of people. JP Morgan, I mentioned, Morgan Stanley, I believe, Bank of America, right there, Ericsson, Pape Don, Dawson. So a lot of corporations and companies, PepsiCo again. So look at that. I mean, that's some pretty significant Toyota, Toyota Financial Services as well. They have, this is the whole Toyota campus right here. But again, massive development all in this corridor along Plano 121 and the Dallas North Tollway. Again, this is 121, which is a toll road, Dallas North Tollway, which is a toll road. You have all of that action happening. And then, of course, along the tollway, they've got various buildings. You hit a little bit up here in this area, and you start to get more of the high rises coming in as well. So all of that development, and Frisco is just becoming the new hub of Dallas Fort Worth. And again, that's why I say it'll be DFFW, Dallas Frisco Fort Worth. You heard it here first, by the way. And that's what's happening up here. Now, if we zoom in a little bit here as well, and like I said, go ahead and leave your comments. You can comment somewhere around in here somewhere. So let me see. Make sure. Make sure we're all good. Okay, so let me just continue on throughout here and continue to show you what's happening in here. Now, I highlighted a few different things that I want to cover, but mainly in Frisco, you have some attractions. First of all, as far as developments, you can see Grand Park right here. Right now, this is mainly just land, but they're starting the development on this project, and this project is going to be massive. Over 1,000 acres, and bigger than Central Park in New York City. So all of this is happening right now. Everything that they have, we've featured this on other videos, so I'd encourage you to check those out. But it's going to be pretty cool right there, right off the Dallas North Tollway. You have you're not that far from the Star, okay? And a lot of that area, the Star District, and so, which is a very popular spot that people like to hit up right down here in the Star District. So right here, you got Cowboys Way, you got like the Cowboys Club, where the Cowboys practice, their indoor facility. Cowboys headquarters is along this road as well. So that's the Star in Frisco. We've been there a few times on some videos. Very picturesque, right? Pretty cool little spot. Lots of kids games and activities they have out there as well. They got the Cowboy Club, and then you've got the Cowboys Fit, the gym. So you might run into some football players there if you go work out at Cowboy Fit, but that's also a little bit pricey. So if you want to do that, you got Frisco Medical Center, and then you got Stonebriar Mall. This is what really spurred all this growth off whenever it was built right around 99, 2000, 2001. Was built in that time. And there, other than that, there was nothing up here. There was literally nothing going on up here in Frisco. And then they built the Stonebriar Mall right around 2000. And then everything just blew up from there. There's a couple of little pockets of neighborhoods, but not that much. Now it's almost completely built out. You've got some major developments now that they're finishing up, like Grand Park, like Fields Frisco. We're going to cover that here in just a minute. That's going to take over 2,500 acres up here, which is, you look at that compared to Grand Park. So yeah, 2.5 times the size of Grand Park. And then, of course, that will include Universal Studios. You got the Hole by the Tollway that they're going to be developing into the mix, which is going to be along this side as well. Whereas Hebron, it's up here, down here a little bit, yeah. Stonebrook, Lebanon, this is right in this area. Known as the Hole by the Tollway. It was a failed project within the last 5-10 years. Now they're going to start developing that out into a mixed-use development called the Mix. And then right across the way too, they have They have the rail district, or the rail head. The rail head will be coming over off of this section over in this area, the rail head, and then the rail district in old historic Frisco down in this area. They've gutted all of this, pretty much. They're redefining all of Main Street, widening Main Street. It's going to become extremely walkable, which right now it's terrible. It's completely under construction. But that should really give you an idea of what's happening. Let me see if I go up here into Fields under massive development. Now, they've already pretty much they're closing out phase 1. This was the main section of phase 1 of Brookside, and that kicked off Fields. Universal Kids Resort, they've already got that on the map. You see that temporarily closed, but that's going to be opening shortly. And then they have a University Village that will be off in this section as well, because they also built University of North Texas campus up around in this area. Actually, I have to come right over here. University of North Texas campus, and then this will be Universal Kids Resort. Then they're going to build University Village, which will be a part of the Fields on this section. Right now, they're building Brookside North, which is really kind of most of this section. That's the new phase of Fields Frisco for new construction. But you're looking at around $1 million or 1.2. That actually might even be starting prices, 1.2 million on this side. This is going to be the Preserve right in this section. Preserve. All right. So this is the creme de la creme. See if I can write that out. Preserve right here. Creme de la creme, minimum prices starting at $4 million, all custom builders. And every house will be 100% custom. There's a home contracted in there right now for $15 million, just to give you an idea. It's been rumored that Shaq, Steph Curry, Dr. Phil, all the big names have already purchased lots within the Preserve. It's going to be the gated community inside of Fields Frisco. Very exclusive. You see it backs up along the golf course. Let me erase that for you. Some of these lots back up along the golf course. They have a lot of cool elevation throughout here. And then, of course, you got the Omni PGA Resort and Spa. You've got the Fields Ranch. You've got the Fields District, which is a cool spot. Lounge by Topgolf. The Swing. This is like a little driving range, but then you're attached to the Ice House as well, which is, there it is, a cool little spot to eat and kind of overlook the golf course. 2 championship PGA golf courses running throughout here. A big Amazon warehouse on the backside. Over here, Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop outlet as well. I think all of the Cowboys stuff is on. Okay, let me see. All right, I think, do we have some questions? I know there's many of you out there watching right now, so hit me up with any of your questions or comments. And sometimes it takes a little bit for it to kick in. And Dude Perfect headquarters over here. If you don't know who Dude Perfect is, they are some of the biggest YouTubers out there now. They do a bunch of trick shots and things like that. Is what they're known for. Big YouTube channel. They may have 10, 15 million subscribers. So I've almost got them. I'm almost there. I'm almost catching them. And you can help me do that as well. Go ahead and subscribe below if you haven't subscribed already. Okay. So just overall, if you take a look at that with inside of Frisco, massive developments, like I said, the Fields, 2,500 acre development. They're calling this the 15-minute city. You're going to have everything inside here. By the way, you got Fields West is going to go in, which is going to be $7 billion more than Legacy West. Whoops. All right. Screwed up my map somehow. More than Legacy West. Actually, let me just try this again. Pull up a new map. It's giving me issues. There we go. Just close that one out. And yeah. So inside of Fields, they're going to have Fields West. That's going to be this major development all throughout here. Fields West. I've talked about it a few times, but Legacy West, that's kind of a cool spot. We like to venture down there. Right here into Legacy West, just on the border of Frisco and Plano. But this is a ton of shops and restaurants, things to do. Definitely a great day for Saturday or Sunday. Lots of little bars, restaurants, shopping, everything you need. Legacy Hall, which is a cool spot where you can do a lot of dining and really enjoy the day as well. They always have live bands out there. Son of a Butcher, that's a really good place. That's their specialty is sliders. Like that's all they have really is sliders, which are great. Son of a Butcher. Initials SOB, by the way. So overall, you can see throughout here, and then they have shops at Legacy, more restaurants, bars, shopping, everything that you need. That's been kind of like one of the go-to spots, especially for a lot of Frisco people. Yes. Do you have your little pockets of things to do throughout Frisco? Yes. But something about Legacy Hall and shops at Legacy is just kind of a cool spot to go. But now inside of Fields, I mean, you will have right here, Fields West. It's going to be $7 billion more than Legacy West. So Legacy West was about a $3 billion development, and Fields West will be about $10 billion. And then you've got North Fields that is getting developed right now as well. That's underway on this section right up here. And that's also going to be some shops and restaurants, but also apartments, multifamily, things like that. And then Firefly Park. Firefly Park is going to be, here you go, Firefly Park. Again, this is going to be like a 45-acre development, all mixed use as well. Pretty cool. I know the lead developer on that, or the vice president of development, which is my friend Jess, that I have known since the second grade, by the way. Little fun fact. I was over there the other day touring the site with him and a couple of the other people cruising around out there. So it was really cool to see that as this is going into development, they open up phase 1 by early 2026 or so. But yeah, 45 acres is going to be jam-packed. Quite a bit of that's going to be parks and recreation. And then you're going to have your shops and restaurants and bars and a whole couple of hotels, a dream hotel inside of there. It's going to be pretty massive. Actually, it's even bigger than what I drew on there. It's going to pretty much take up, I think pretty much all of this. Just right around, you've got the drive, not the dine-in Cinemark cuts. So it's pretty much going to take up all of this space around it. And then that pretty much borders Fields, So then you have Fields, Firefly Park right there. So all along the tollway is going to blow up. And of course, real estate in this highway 289, which is a stoplight highway, but Preston, it's also known as Preston Road. And real estate in between here, always going to be the most expensive, but it's not that less expensive on this side of the tollway. So just something to keep in mind. But overall, it's, there's a lot happening right now. They're, again, redeveloping all of the historic downtown into the rail district. You've got Grand Park, which will be bigger than Central Park. The Fields is underway, full development happening right now. Universal Kids Resort, Firefly Park. The mix, the rail district happening on the other side, or the rail head. The rail, got to get those. Make sure I don't get those confused, right? Rail district and the rail head. So the rail head on this side over here. It's just crazy to watch all this development take place inside of Frisco. And that's why, you got to look at the real estate in each market. Real estate is very hyper local. And right now I know there's a lot of doom and gloom out there. It seems like there has been for the last couple of years. And we've had to navigate that significantly, but we still have helped over 100 families actually relocate here every single year, the last 4 years in a row. It's been amazing. So people from California, Illinois, New York, Washington State, out of the country. We've helped people move from 20 different countries now. Some of those soldiers, which is always an honor to do that. And then some people just trying to get out of the country they're in. People that work in other countries and relocating to Dallas because of all the development and construction that's happening. But it's really amazing to see everything up close and personal with what's going on inside of Frisco right now. It's massive, massive development. Now, if you look at Frisco, it's kind of divided into two main zip codes. You got 75034, 75035. And you have 75033, which is kind of taken over a little bit of this portion up here. So those would be the main zip codes, all right, that we're looking at as far as that goes. Now, if you were to look at some of the data and what that looks like for Frisco housing prices, well, I probably should have bought 5 years ago, right? Of course. Isn't that the case all the time? It seems like with real estate, you should have bought when you thought you should have bought a while ago. But look at this. Let's go to May 2020. So let's just rewind 5 years ago. Take a look at this. Frisco as a whole, average price, or median price, I should say, $440,000. And for 75033, $459,000, 75034, $483,000. And then 75035, 432,000 is the median prices just 5 years ago in Frisco, Texas. Wow. Imagine if you would have bought back then. And now we're going to fast forward. Right now, we're looking at 675,000 for Frisco as a whole. By the way, that change in itself from the original price was what, 440 from May of 2020. And I'm going to May because May's the latest numbers, by the way. I know it's June, but May of 2020, yeah, 440. So let's look at 440 to 675 right now. That's a 53% increase in equity. Really, if you bought back then, you've got about a 53% increase in equity in your home, possibly, not guaranteeing that, but possibly, and probably sitting on over 230,000 of that in actual dollars of equity, possibly, just depending on when and where you bought. But you can see, and that varies by zip code, but Frisco as a whole, average price around 675 right now. 75033, 690,000, 75034, 810,000, and 75035, 634. So that is the tale of two zip codes. What did I say? All of this, if you look at that, 75034, almost $200,000 more. Let's say 130,000. 690 to actually, if you look at 75035, which is 75033 is a smaller zip code. So let's discount that one. Actually, I'll just take that one out, make this a little bit cleaner. But 75034 to 75035, 634,000, the median price to 810,000. That is pretty significant. 180,000 difference. Why is that? Well, you got the west side versus the east side. If we go back on this map, look at this. And it's really kind of divided by Preston Road. What did I say happens between Preston Road and the tollway? Most expensive real estate, usually. And then even to the west of the tollway, even more expensive real estate. To the east of the tollway, less expensive real estate. And then look at what's happening. Well, first of all, if you have a little bit more money, you don't mind the tolls so much, right? So that's one thing. If you don't have, or if you have less money, you don't want to hit tolls, especially if your company doesn't pay for it, your business doesn't pay for it, whatever the case may be. But then again, look where all the development is. Grand Park on the tollway, the Mix on the tollway, the Railhead on the tollway, the Rail District not far off the tollway, Fields Frisco all around the tollway, Firefly Park on the tollway, all of that happening on the tollway. All of that development, it's driving the prices of all of these communities on this side up, period. It is. I mean, the prices in Fields right now, you can get some good deals because that is new construction. Now there is an opportunity with new construction. Newman Village, this is a gated community, one of the more expensive neighborhoods in Frisco, by the way. Got a couple of friends that live there. I'm not there quite yet, but working on it. Maybe we'll get there here soon, but we'll see. But Newman Village, pretty cool gated home and gated village, I should say. I got a buddy there building a $6 million house. Yep, that's under construction right now. So, and then you got down here, Hills of Kingswood. That's the other gated main community in Frisco that is very expensive. But then you have the OG of gated communities in Frisco, which is Starwood. This is an amazing neighborhood. Starwood, they actually have double security gates. So one gate opens and it closes before the next gate opens. So you can't be one of those friends that sits outside the gate and waits for somebody else to go through and then you drive through. Not going to happen in Starwood. And you better have credentials, a pass, permission, something. I mean, they don't, even as an agent, I'm unable to get in there unless I have something scheduled specifically. And even if I have it scheduled, they're going to still call and make sure. So if you're a listing agent inside of there trying to sell a home, you're going to be getting a lot of phone calls every time somebody tries to see that. But you can see how spaced out the streets are. Massive homes throughout Starwood. beautiful homes and very well developed. All the trees, in there. It's an amazing property. Hills of Kingswood, very much smaller, but you can also see very spaced out, not very condensed, because you can go anywhere from 2 million to 5 to 6 to 7 million. Actually, we are listing a property in there for 5.5 million coming up very soon. All right. So that's pretty cool. We're excited about that. And then you have Newman Village, where I've got a buddy building a $6 million house. So those are your pricey points. And then you've got the preserve, right? Like I mentioned, very sensitive, this map today. You got the preserve, which will be 4 to 15 to maybe 20 million, depending on what gets built inside of there. But 4 million is the entry point. So that's more than Starwood. You might be able to get in for very less likely. You'll find something. You'll find something. You won't find anything less than $1 million. That's for sure. Hills of Kingswood, probably 2 million. Your entry point. Starwood, 1.5, 2 million to get in there as well. And it just goes up from there. Newman Village, I think you could probably get in there for $1.5 million, maybe 2. And then preserve, 4 million. So that's where all the development is happening. So again, you look at the trends, and this is again still 53% for Frisco as a whole increase over the last 5 years. Now you look at the last 3 years, it's pretty much leveled out. Now look, even year over year, 75034 is still had a 6.6% increase in prices. So even year over year right now, 75035 has lost 3.2% year over year on median price, but I definitely wouldn't say that's a crash. That's just normal fluctuation. Now, a couple of things you can look at. Price per square foot, that's gone up significantly. Let's see, May. I'm going to go back to 5 years, because that's just a better, again, the thing, if you buy a home, I hope it used to be the average person moves every 7 years. The average family in America moves every 7 years. Now it's 9 years. I think a lot of that has been spurred off over the last couple of years, especially with most sellers. Like 40% of homeowners in the US don't have a mortgage. That's crazy. And then another 40% have interest rates now under 3%. They refinanced during 2021, 2022. I refinanced on a home I still own. I got a 2.75% interest rate. You think I'm going to sell that and try to buy something at that interest rates right now? No. And that's what's happening right now with all the sellers. But the problem is now the inventory is starting to move up. Sellers probably waited a little bit too long. If you were thinking about selling and you're trying to time the market and everything, probably waited just a little bit too long right now, because now inventory is back to around 6 months. Actually, if I go on to month supply right here and show you this, we're looking at 5.8 for Frisco as a whole compared to 5.2 and 5.7 to the specific zip codes. Look at where it was in May 2020, 2.4. All right. And then it got down to 0.7. I mean, that's crazy. These were crazy low numbers, but still, okay. A normal market is 6 months of inventory. This is a normal market. So right now you're going to see a lot of doom and gloom. You log onto YouTube and homes are on fire, underwater, markets crashing. Yes. Okay. Of course it is, but that's everywhere else. Not necessarily in Frisco, but 6 months. And they're talking about inventory surges right now. And that is true, but you got to look at apples to apples and also look at what's been going on. We're really just getting back to a normal market of inventory. 6 months of inventory is a normal market. If it's less than 6 months of inventory, that's considered a seller's market, which we pretty much have been in since 2021. Although I would say the last year and a half on paper has been a seller's market, but it's really been a buyer's market. If you've tried to buy in the last year and a half, you have the leverage. We've been able to get pretty much everything we want out of a seller on the buy side. And if we're selling your home, we're fighting to try to give everything we can to not give away the house. I mean, that's the reality of it, is buyers have the leverage right now. And now that the inventory's moved up and interest rates are still where they're at, then they're just holding out. They are literally just holding out. Now, some people still have to make a move based on life situations, and life situations could be all the D's, right? The death, divorce, diapers, job relocation. That's not really a D, but I don't know a D word for job relocation. But you got to go the distance, I guess. So you got to relocate with your job. All these different factors that are putting people in a position that they have to move. And so if that's the case, you've got to look at the market as it is. And we find a deal every time. And so I wouldn't be too concerned about going back to the 5 to 7 years also on moving. I want to say that if you plan to stay in your home at least 5 to 7 years, which you should be, if you're buying a home as a primary residence, ideally you're planning to stay in that home within 5 to 7 years. Now, if life circumstances force you to move less than 5 years, then yes, there could be a chance that the market will not favor your purchase. And that's just a timing thing. That's not and it's hard to really time the market. It is really, really difficult to time the market. But if you buy a home and 2 years later, regardless of the market, I mean, again, 2021, 2022 were anomalies, and could that happen again? I don't know. If they lower interest rates back down to 5%, could be, because there's so much pent up demand on the side. But ultimately, if you're buying a home, hopefully you plan to stay there at least 5 to 7 years, and you're going to likely weather any real estate storm. And this would be normal. And you're likely going to gain some appreciation over a 5 to 7 year period. Now, if you're in an area like Frisco as well, then your chances of that are even higher, because look at all the developments. And this is something that we always encourage with our clients as well. Walmart, they're not stupid. Costco is not stupid. Whoever is developing Grand Park is not stupid. Fields West, Firefly Park. I know the developers of Firefly Park, and they're multi-billionaires, and so they're betting on Frisco, the growth and development of Frisco. And if you see Costco's going up, Walmart's going up, Starbucks going up, believe it or not, Starbucks are a strong indicator of where the housing is going to take place. Starbucks is not going to build a Starbucks if they don't believe they can sell $7 lattes in that area. So if you see a Starbucks go up and it's kind of in an open area or a field, you should probably buy some real estate around there. That's just the way it is. Same thing. Costco's are going up. All these commercial and all these big box brands. Amazon, you saw like the Amazon distribution center, they get it. And so again, if you buy and you plan to be in your home for 5 to 7 years and hopefully longer, especially in the Frisco area, you're probably going to win. Now, if you move up to Prosper, which Prosper has a price even higher than Frisco right now. If I throw in Prosper in here, let's take a look at that. 847,000. So that's even higher than zip code is 75034 in Frisco. So Prosper is it's become a small community in between Frisco and Salina. You got to kind of skip over Prosper and go to Salina to start to find more affordable housing. So these are the things. Understand where the development is happening, understand where the growth is happening. And if you're in a position where you need to move right now, then I would just say reach out. Phone number's right here, 214-441-6684. Shoot us a text or give us a call, either way. And there you go. Howdy, sir. There we go. Cast and Blast, possibly a fisher. I believe a fisherman. So there we go. I guess the comments are starting to come in here. So good to see you out there. And overall, yeah, this is the opportunity at hand right now. So if you look at what's happening inside of Frisco, all that development, you look at the articles that are coming out, what Fields represents for Frisco in the future of Collin County. And you can see in here, a new area of luxury living is taking shape. 2,500 acre Fields development, now a sweeping master plan community that embodies both the region's rapid growth and its deep local roots. All right, so there you go. Name for the banker and rancher, Burt Fields. There you go. Yep. What's ahead in Frisco? We want to make sure we capture the blue sky opportunities, preserve as much open space as possible, said Mayor Jeff Cheney. Fields logo was intentionally designed to reflect the development's vision. The F shape represents the bend in the North Dallas Tollway. The Fields Parkway forming the cross section. There you go. And the upper portion symbolizes expansive blue skies that define the area. Oh, that's pretty fancy, right? So anyways, let's see. Expansive vistas, miles of greenbelt trails, pedestrian friendly urban core, offered to be the best of both worlds, energy and convenience. Magnet for jobs and innovation, position along major transportation corridors, neighboring the PGA America's headquarters and the Universal Kids Resort. I mean, I expect Fields to have a similar impact in Frisco as the shops at Legacy and Legacy West had in Plano, but even at greater scale. And that's what I just mentioned. I didn't even see this portion of it, but just talked about how shops at Legacy and Legacy West really have become known as the hotspots there on the Frisco-Plano border, but Fields Frisco is going to change that rapidly. And this is where people from Salina and Prosper, Melissa, Anna, Aubrey, Pilot Point, all those places I showed you earlier, they're going to be going down to Fields Frisco. Mark my words, watch. They'll be going there for all the Firefly Park as well. That's where they're going to be going for all of their entertainment. Think about this. Again, Fields Frisco, 2,500 acres, retail, shops, dining, rest, everything you need. Prosper, guess what? Prosper, it's right next door to Prosper. It's 10 to 15 minutes from Salina. They'll just come down 289. They're extending the North Tollway right here. That's the other thing. The extension of the Dallas North Tollway, which is going right through here, is what they're working on right now. All of this section. What do you think is going to happen to all this space out here? All this space out here. Let me just show you. Let's see if this pulls up. See if this, no. Let me see. Share screen. Here we go. Is it not going to? Well, is it not going to populate? Let's see. What happened to my map? All right. Well, so much for that. All right. I'll go back here to the. All right. We'll go back here to the map. So anyways, I'll get that out of the way. Everyone's going to be going down here. Aubrey. Again, like I said, Melissa, Anna, Weston, Roland, Salina, Prosper, Aubrey, Pilot Point. This is going to be their closest spot, Fields Frisco, right here. Fields Frisco. I mean, this is all 10, 15 minutes, 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes from Salina, 5 minutes from Prosper. Melissa, that'll be a little bit of a trek over. Anna, a little bit as well. But there's not much out here, right? There's a Buc-ee's in Melissa, but nobody's going to be visiting that on the weekend. So overall, you have a lot of action going on there as well. So that's going to be the new hub is Fields Frisco. It's going to change the game over there. So if you think real estate is not probably going to increase in these areas, I don't know, then prove me wrong. But we follow the development, and there's just a lot going on. But look, again, you got to do what's right for you and your family, and the main thing is to be able to talk through that and figure out what is a right time for you. On top of that, we're right here by Louisville Lake, which is an amazing lake to hang out. So yes, we don't have the mountains or the beach, but we got the lakes. You got Levi Lake. It's a little bit more of a further drive, but still something you can do. And head over to Levi Lake. You got Louisville Lake. Like I said, that's a pretty popular spot. You got some parks. You got some Little Elm Park and all these little parks in the colony down here. Louisville border that you can go and hang out. So that's still a good, fun spot for that. And look at this. You're even not too far if you're in Frisco. You come over here to Oak Point Park. This is over 800 acres, this park, over 800 acres, hiking and biking and trails and all kinds of stuff you can do inside of Oak Point Park. So quite a bit going on there. And that's, within 15, 20 minutes, depending on where you're at in Frisco. So you have all of this development going on, price trends going up. I mean, look at the last 10 years in Frisco, look at the last 20 years, whenever all the development started. I mean, imagine, look, home prices, $160,000 in 2003. Let's go to 2005. May of 2005. Okay, yeah, 213,000, 234, 193,000. I still have Prosper on there. We'll get Prosper out of there. So let's go to 2005, April, May. There you go, 213,000 as a whole in Frisco compared to where are we at now? 675. There you go. So, 3x your investment if you bought 20 years ago, which is not bad. But it's pretty much gone up. There hasn't even been, let's look at 2008. Look at 2008, 2009. There wasn't even a significant crash in Frisco during that time. It was the epicenter of growth. I mean, it was compounding growth at that time. And 2012, 2014 started going even more. And of course, 2021 and 2022 just blew it up. But it had pretty good, steady growth regardless, all the way throughout there. So, you got Fields to have a similar impact, shift in how companies evaluate location, prioritizing quality of life and the broader workforce. Fields West, 55-acre big sister development to Legacy West. I just said that too. It's like they read my mind. Look at that, 350,000 square feet of retail, restaurant, entertainment, 375 hotel rooms. It's going to generate over $400 million annually in sales. Wow, that's crazy. National model for suburban living, the Preserve. What did I talk? I just mentioned that. When it's completed, the rest of the country is going to come here to view this as the case study for how you build a community. Wow. Despite increases in mortgage rates and the housing market slowing down in other parts of the country, the Frisco housing market continues to be strong. That is true. That is true. Which areas do you recommend? Let's see here. Let's Cast and Blast says, howdy, sir. Howdy. Which areas do you recommend that has lower property tax rates and has safe communities? I mean, pretty much everywhere in North Dallas. I mean, McKinney, you're probably going to find lower tax rates than anywhere else as of right now. Frisco is not too bad as well. And then you get up into Melissa and Anna. A lot of those communities have mud and PID taxes. So, and then I like this. DFFW. Look at this. Look at that. DFFW. Frisco Mayor says it almost became FDFW. Well, that wouldn't be good. FDFW. Okay. So let's see what they've got to say. The F is for Frisco. DFFW. I like this. North Texas is growing fast. Cities like Frisco, Plano, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. The acronym DFFW was originally coined by realtor Levi Lascsak. Look at that. All right. There we go. Hey, finally some credit. Let's go. Acronym. DFFW was, and I've talked about this for a couple of years on this channel, but whenever I was on the local news with ABC News, let's see here if we actually, I'll open this up in link in a new tab. And DFW, now it's DFFW, says North Texas Realtor. And they're quoting here, according to WFAA, which is the Channel 8 News, Realtor Levi Lascsak said despite being based in Dallas, most of his clients looking to Collin County. And if I open up this one, this was the article. That was the article and the news segment. We did a couple of segments with Kara and her team. There you are. That was featured on the news, which was pretty cool. But I talked about that, DFFW. So it looks like that's starting to take hold. And It says Frisco Mayor Jeff Cheney first tried it out in conversation at Frisco Chamber of Commerce. Oh, nice. So it looks like the mayor's actually talking about DFFW now as well. But he almost said FDFW, which safe for public signage. Not exactly, right? Confident, catchy, debatable. Okay. Fortunately, DFFW prevailed, a tidy little nod to becoming North without accidentally insulting the rest of it. Oh, that's cool. All right. So maybe they're, yeah, I like that. Maybe they are using that in meetings now, and it'll become a thing. So maybe we did start a trend here, which is pretty cool. What's my thoughts on Kimmy Kimx? Kimmy Kim. All right, Kimmy Kim. What's my thoughts on Aubrey? Yeah, cool. Cool little town. We did a couple of videos out there recently. Actually, there's yeah, if you look on the video or on the channel, it's the thumbnail says 2022 interest rates on there. So let me see. Yeah, so let me pull this over here real quick. Let's see if I got, let me just, I'll go to videos because it was pretty recent, I think. Yeah, this one. Yeah. North Dallas new homes under 400K with crazy low rates. So I believe, yeah, this was Aubrey right here. So you should be able to check that out. Aubrey, we were in that area. This one was in Nevada. This one was in Van Alstyne. This one was in Van Alstyne as well. So, that was a really, really cool home. So yeah, we've got some, this is in the fields. This one's in the fields right here. This was a new community, a new gated community in Salina. So yeah, a lot going on here. A lot going on. We just did a couple of videos on Frisco as well to kind of update. But overall, yeah, Aubrey's, I mean, it's cool. It's a little small town. It's a a little small town right now. But like I mentioned, things are going to be happening drastically out here. Let's see, what do I have hearted at? Oh, I guess that's where we went. Keeneland, actually. So yeah, not a lot happening in Aubrey. Pretty boring. So it's nice and quiet. But that's going to change. It kind of merges into Krugerville. You're not that far from Lake Ray Roberts, and you got to come down, and everything you need is going to be along 380. You got Louisville Lake as well. So you're right in between two great lakes if you like the lake life, which we do. And yeah, a lot of communities popping up. All of this green space is going to be filled in pretty soon you can pretty much cut right over to Salina. So there's some cool spots to go to downtown Salina. So you have access to that. Prosper. You're going to have easy access to Fields Frisco, like I mentioned. Homes are pretty inexpensive there right now. Some of the best price. You've got easy access to Denton as well. That's a cool little town. The downtown area I like a lot. Little historic downtown area. It's super cool. So overall, yeah, Aubrey's a win. I would go for Aubrey if you're looking for a great deal, good price, and other than that, little too slow. Reminds me of where I grew up. It's kind of just a small town feel for right now, but next 10, 15 years, it'll be a massive investment, as far as your personal home, or if you buy investments out there. So, I think he was trying to decide between, where's my mouse? Where'd my mouse go? I was trying to decide between Aubrey and Princeton. So that helps being close to Frisco. Yeah. Princeton's going to be a little bit further away, than to Frisco out here. So, if you take a look at that, Princeton, same thing, a little sleepy right now, but also named one of the fastest growing cities. So that's blowing up. Now, the thing with Princeton is you got easy access to McKinney. I think McKinney has the best historic downtown stuff to do for North Texas. But yeah, I tell you what, the Fields Frisco right here, this is going to become the place to be, to hang out, to shop, to eat, to dine. Have a good time. So really, If you're in Prosper, you're going to be right there on the border. If you're in Frisco, you're right there. Aubrey's going to be much closer on this side. Princeton, you just got to navigate 380. That's probably going to be about 40 minutes. Maybe about 30 minutes, I would say. Aubrey's going to be more about 15 to 20 minutes. So it just saves you about 10, 15 minutes, and that's about it. But otherwise, Princeton, very affordable now as well. All right. What's up, Jay? Jay says, currently live in Mustang Lakes. Do you think the property values will continue to appreciate? I was considering moving deeper into Salina for acre lots due to the growth and get more in return. Yeah, Jay, I would say, look, man, give me a call, shoot me a text at the number that I have displayed. I mean, this is the thing is, if you're thinking about doing it, it's going to be, I'm just going to be honest with you right now. It's going to be tough for sellers over the next, well, until they actually lower interest rates, right now. So if you're thinking about selling, we're moving into summer. I mean, we're in summer right now. This is prime time, buy time for the majority of people make their moves here. We've always been able to sell, in any market, but right now it's a lot more challenging for the sellers. I mean, people are just holding out. And if you're thinking about selling, appreciation in these types of communities, it just depends if, you still got some construction going on out there. So you have to compete with the new construction that's already happening within your own community. So that's the biggest challenge that you face. On top of that, all of the other new construction communities that are around you. So if the builders are offering, 5% interest rates, 4% interest rates, you've got to compete with the builders. And if the builders are now price cutting or price slashing, because see, the builders are just into volume. They're into volume. So they want to move inventory. And as they build more inventory, they're like, okay, they might overprice a little bit, but then they're willing to cut, pretty significantly because they'll know they'll make it up on the volume side. So when you're in that community and they're building still within the community or even just outside of your community, that's your competition. On top of that, interest rates suck right now. They just do. They're back up to almost 7%. And that's probably if you've got good credit. If you've got mediocre credit or bad credit, it could even be a little bit higher than that. It's just not fun because that adds a significant amount to the mortgage payment each month. So you've got to fight against that as well. So if you're thinking about selling, I don't know if holding out any longer is going to gain you much. Will homes appreciate in Mustang Lakes? Yeah, I would say over the next 3 to 5 years, but within the next year to two, it could be stagnant, possibly. I just don't think. I don't think you're going to see a significant amount. Normal home prices before 2020, appreciated anywhere from, you could say 2, 3 to 4, 5% was high. So you could say anywhere from 2 to 3%, 2 to 4%. That was healthy appreciation in a home during normal times. So, you got to think about, is it worth it to wait another year to try to squeeze out another 2 or 3% in appreciation? If you got to think about what you're looking to buy right now in Salina. If you're trying to go up there for more acreage, there's more development happening in Salina than ever before. And so you're going to have to deal with that as well. So let me just show you, I got my map to pull up now. So let me just show you. Let me show you what Salina is going to look like. All right, this is the map I was trying to pull up earlier. It wasn't populating for some reason, but just to show you the red. The red is new housing development, new housing development communities. All right, in Salina. So just take a look at that. All right, just for reference, the red is new housing developments. in Salina. Now, you've got the Costco, right? The Costco that's going in. And what did I say earlier? I said, if you see a Costco going in, then they're no dummies. Walmart just opened up. Costco is going to be opening up soon. Look at this. Home Depot, Lowe's, HEB is there now, is coming out. And then all of the red are new developments that are either in production or about to be produced. I mean, look at this. Legacy Hills, 6,900 lots. Harper Estates over here. Harper Estates, 76 lots. Those are acre lots, but again, only 76 lots. You got Ramble that's coming, 2,600 lots. Look at that. Rainwater, 1,700 lots. You've got the Ranch at Uptown, 1,700 lots. The Cottages, 332 lots. The Heights at Uptown, 518 lots. More, and the blue are going to be coming soon. All right. So red is either in development or, basically in development right now. They're building homes. Blue is what's coming. 821. Wilson Creek, 2,000 lots. Cattleman's Cross again. So look at all of this, and then if you go down to the border of Prosper, then actually I take that back. Blue is developed, all right, because we know Liliana, Light Farms, Mustang Lakes. We know all this, but now Mustang Lakes is doing an expansion right here as well. So Jay, you've got to go on. You've got to go there. So let me see here. All right. Just had to get rid of somebody talking smack. So that's all right. Let me see. Mustang Lakes expansion, 1,700 lots. Mustang Lakes expansion, 1,700 lots. So Jay, this is what you got to compete with, is all of this. And these expansion lots out here, they're going to be probably discounting. They're going to be offering 5% interest rates, 4% interest rates, brand new. It's not pre-existing. So people are going to have that option. They're going to be like, oh, I can just get a brand new home that nobody's ever lived in and get a 5% interest rate. So that's the challenge you have to deal with. Now, we deal with that every day in the business, and that's just part of the market right now. But we'll give it to you straight. If you allow us to help you out with your home, take a look at it. We'll give you the real price of what you need to do to sell it, and that may not be what you want to hear. But somebody else may want to just list it just to make you happy, and then it sits for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So it just depends on your motivation, your timeline, what you're trying to do. But if you're trying to get acreage up north in Salina, that's going to be hard to get as well. But if that's what you're thinking about doing, I mean, look at this. Legacy Hills is going to be kind of like the Fields Frisco of Salina. Future golf course, golf club, everything that they're building inside of there. Look at this. Like I said, almost 7,000 homes inside of there. HEB, another HEB going on right there. So it's all coming. And they've only got one high school. Salina has one high school right now. They just passed a $2.3 billion bond. So that's going to include more high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools. All right. So you've got that to deal with as well. So there's just a lot. There's just a lot going on in Frisco, Prosper, Salina. We're coming up. Wow. It's already over an hour. So the main thing is like I said, you can shoot me a text right here, 214-441-6684. If you have any other questions, love to chat with you personally to get to know you and your situation a lot better. That's the best way. We just got to look at what are all the factors that play into your family, your move, your timeline, your budget, your motivation, your goals, and all of that matters. And it's hard for me to just give out blanket answers on here, but what I'm trying to help you out with today is to show you just all of the development, everything that's happening in this area. And so that is making for a very strong economy, a very strong job market. The hospitals, I didn't even mention the whole Baylor Scott White Health. That's on the other side from Firefly Park, right across the tollway. They're building a whole medical district there like training facilities, emergency hospital beds, everything. I mean, they're taking over. It's going to be a whole new campus there as well. So for the medical industry. So if you're a nurse, doctor, everything, construction, development, you do anything in home services. If you do anything in home services, you're going to have plenty of work up in this area for a very, very long time. I mean, there's just no getting around it. And these developers and these corporations are not stopping. Costco, Walmart, HEB, Starbucks, they're going up everywhere. And they're not dummies. They're going where the housing trends are going. They need people in their stores. They need people buying stuff. So if they're building in the middle of nothing right now, that should tell you something. They know what's coming. And that is going to bring housing and everything else. So I appreciate all of you that joined us today. And give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. If you want to book a Zoom call, that's in the description as well. If you want to book a Zoom, then you'll meet with myself or Travis personally on Zoom. We always love that because we always love to put a face with the name. And then, until that time, of course, we hope to show you around town. And then also watch whatever video pops up here because that'll help you on your home buying journey next. Have a good night.